Alright, so if you have not seen already in the past few couple videos here, I'm back on the old computer because my brand new one, the screen stopped coming on. So that's very frustrating. And what that means is number one, I can't edit, so I can't put in that baller intro I spent a lot of time making. Number two, I have to use the computer camera instead of the camera I just spent a bunch of money on. And I have to use this mic, the USB mic, which isn't bad, but instead of the somewhat professional mic I got. So I'm not happy about it. It's just where we're at. Hopefully getting it fixed soon. I literally took it apart myself and put it back together, and it did nothing. So we'll hopefully figure it out. But anyway, I had to talk about this. No matter how I had to make it, I'm talking about this. And this isn't even like political. This is literally just common sense. You see this all the time, especially now in today's world. Get broke, go woke. Or go woke, get broke. I think I said that right. Probably not. But in this case, it is go broke, get woke. EA Sports put out Madden 21 recently, in which I have. And it got a lot of heat because there's really nothing new on the game. They last minute threw in the yard, which I've now played, and I like it actually. It's the only thing on the game I like. But they have copy and pasted the pretty much graphics, the crowds, the animations from year to year to year. They haven't done anything with things such as franchise mode, face of the franchise, ultimate team. Everything's still the same. It's the same exact game, and people hate it. So what does EA Sports do to try to offset this hate? They decide to play to the woke crowd. The people who are the outrage culture, the ones who cancel you over anything they disagree with. This is who EA Sports went to try to get people off of their back. So what did they do? Well, EA Sports, I don't know if this happened today or when it happened, but they decided to put Colin Kaepernick back in the game. I have no problem with that. I really don't. I really don't care because technically he is a free agent quarterback who, if teams wanted to, could sign him. It's not like there's some sort of secret ban on him or anything. He could be signed if somebody wanted him. So they put him in the game. I got, like I said, no problem with that. Whatever, that's cool, And what did they do? They raided Colin Kaepernick, who hasn't been in the league for like 4 or 5 years now, and in his last season was benched for, I believe, CJ Beathard. And yes, I understand that Colin Kaepernick had success in the NFL. I'm not one of these people who just flat out say that he shouldn't be, I don't know. Let me rephrase it. I'm not one of the people who says that he's flat out sucked his entire career. Because there was a point where he was playing somewhat at a high level and got to the NFC Championship and got to the Super Bowl and lost to the Ravens. I remember because, number one, that was the Harbaugh v. Harbaugh game, and I told my grandpa that the 49ers were going to win, and of course, he picked the Ravens just to make me mad, and he won, and I was pretty ticked. So, and he always, he'd say the best team's going to win, whatever. So, that's a different story. But anyway, so with Colin Kaepernick, to me, it's different if he finishes his career as one of the best quarterbacks in the league. You know what I mean? Like with the success he had, getting to the Super Bowl, getting to the NFC Championship, whatever. If he didn't end his time in the NFL by getting benched by CJ Beathard, or even if it wasn't CJ, it was somebody of his caliber, you know what I mean? It would be different. based on his rating. Now, I still think whatever they had him at, they should understand that he's been out of the league for so long that it has to have an impact. But they rated Colin Kaepernick a 81 overall. Now, for context, some other bigger name quarterbacks who are rated lower than Colin Kaepernick. I'm going to start from the bottom and go up. So, one of the lower quarterbacks rated, who they have Colin Kaepernick rated higher than, Drew Lock. Now, I'm not sold on Drew Lock. I definitely think he's got a lot of potential. I liked him the year before he came out of the draft, but Drew Lock's better than Colin Kaepernick right now, without a doubt. Ask anybody who's ever watched last year any sort of film on Drew Lock. Yes, he's better. Josh Allen. Josh Allen led the Bills to, I believe, to the playoffs, right? I don't know. I should have checked on this before, but I'm ticked off about this, so I'm just going to read the list. So, Josh Allen, a guy who was a first-round pick, who has performed at a high level. Some would say, other than Lamar, best quarterback in that class, some would say. But he's definitely played at a high level. I did not like Josh Allen, and I'm still not super high on him, but he's definitely played at a very high level, and you got to give him that credit. Daniel Jones, and Josh Allen was a 77. Daniel Jones, 72 overall. Daniel Jones was the number 6 pick in the draft, who everybody hated, not except myself. I was one of the few people who said this kid's going to be good. And he reminded me so much of Eli Manning. Had a little bit of Peyton in him. So I was thrilled when the Giants got him because that's a perfect fit. 72 overall for him. Cam Newton, who was a NFL MVP, been to the Super Bowl, multiple playoff games. Yes, he was injured, whatever. He's coming back now. He's now the starting quarterback for the New England Patriots. Not just any team. The New England Patriots. 78 overall. Colin Kaepernick's an 81. Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold was the number 3 pick in that draft. I'm not a huge fan of Sam Darnold. I don't think he's that great. I think he's average to a little bit above average. But I definitely don't fault him completely because he's got a terrible organization around him and nobody to help him, really. But if you gave me the option, who would you rather have, Colin Kaepernick or Sam Darnold to start a franchise with? It's not even close. Sam Darnold. And I don't even like Sam Darnold. Jared Goff. Jared Goff was a number 1 overall pick, I believe. It was either him or Wentz. If not number 1, number 2. I believe he was number 1. Been to the Super Bowl, been to the Pro Bowl. I definitely think his career is a little shaky right now, but he's rated as a 76. And Colin Kaepernick's an 81. Baker Mayfield, my guy, Cleveland Browns fan here. They have Baker Mayfield rated as a 78. Baker Mayfield won the Heisman Trophy, number 1 pick in the draft, took a team that was 1-15 to a 7-8-1 record, which is not great, but is dysfunctional and as terrible as that team was run. Baker had to go through a coaching change mid-season that year, and still finished very well. Now, in his second year, he did not perform nearly as well. He played very poorly, almost threw the same amount of picks as touchdowns. We all know the story. We all know the story of the Cleveland Browns last year. He underperformed, yes. But Baker Mayfield is not even comparable to Colin Kaepernick. I should say Colin Kaepernick's not even comparable to Baker Mayfield. There are a lot of people who hate Baker Mayfield with a passion. if you gave them the option, start your franchise with one of these two, they're picking Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield, Colin Kaepernick is not even close to being on the same level as Baker Mayfield. And, yes, I'm a Browns fan. Yes, I'm biased. I don't care. It's flat out disrespectful to have a guy who was the Heisman Trophy winner, #1 overall pick, brought a franchise that was basically dead, somewhat back to life. Yes, who struggled last year, but, in his 2 years, you can't say that he's completely sucked. I mean, his first year was fantastic. Second year, struggled a lot. Third year, a lot of expectations and a lot of hopes of a rebound. Colin Kaepernick is not even close to Baker Mayfield. And I'm just going to move on because, I'm biased as a Browns fan, but still. Ryan Tannehill is an 80 overall. Yes, they're only one apart, but Ryan Tannehill was in the AFC Championship last year. Colin Kaepernick hasn't played in the league for 4 or 5 years. And the worst one, the absolute worst one, in my opinion, this is the most disrespectful, just blasphemous stupidity I've ever seen. They have Colin Kaepernick rated higher than Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray, similar to Baker Mayfield, Heisman Trophy winner, #1 overall pick. Kyler Murray was the rookie of the year, I believe, or offensive rookie. I don't know. But he had a great year last year. Kyler Murray will likely be a top 5 quarterback as soon as next year. And there are a lot of guys on this list who could easily get up to that level. They have the potential to get up to that level. And yes, Baker is one of them, in my opinion. But to sit here and say with a straight face that Kyler Murray is not as good as Colin Kaepernick is absolutely insane. It's mind-blowing to me how stupid EA Sports can be. So let me roll through this list again. According to EA Sports, the people who are supposed to put out the best football game every year, think that Colin Kaepernick, who hasn't played in the league for years, who sucked his last year, was benched, is better currently than Kyler Murray, Ryan Tannehill, Jared Goff, Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Cam Newton, Daniel Jones, Josh Allen, and Drew Lock. Oh my gosh. I'm not amazed anymore by how stupid some of these major companies are because they play to the woke crowd and they don't stand up for common sense anymore. And I'm not saying you can't have your own opinion, but because you've gotten so much criticism that you would go to this length to try to play to that crowd who probably doesn't even care about Madden, to put Colin Kaepernick, not only just put him back in the game, which I have no problem with, but to put him back in the game rated higher than all of those people, and by the way, rated the exact same as Ben Roethlisberger. Big Ben, yes, he's on the downside of his career. He's coming off of a bad injury. Big Ben is a future Hall of Famer. Colin Kaepernick is not even close. The disrespect is mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. I'm ashamed to even own the game at this point because the game sucks. Even if they didn't do this, it's terrible. And I made a video about that earlier. And then you go and do this. Come on. This is absolutely insane. So I can't even believe it. Like, I thought this video was going to be a rant of me just yelling, but I'm no longer mad. I'm just so mind blown about how stupid somebody can be to do this. The level of disrespect. And I don't care if you don't like some of these quarterbacks on this list, like I talked about with a guy like Baker Mayfield, who there's a very big portion of people who don't like him, and there's a very big portion of people that do love him. No matter who you are, you cannot tell me that Colin Kaepernick is better than Baker Mayfield. I don't care. It's insane. And it's like I said, I don't like Sam Darnold. I don't. But he's way better than Colin Kaepernick. So instead of repeating the same thing over and over again, I'm going to go eat because that makes me happy. So, all right, thanks for watching this video. Let EA Sports know how stupid they are. And we will see you in the next video. Bye.